Let the church say amen.
Amen.
Let the church say amen again.
Amen.
Indeed, it's a blessing to be in the house of the Lord. Once again, I know I don't get here very often, but when I can, I'm going to run here.
That's all right.
I'd like to give thanks to the Most High God for waking me up this morning.
Yes, Lord.
I'd like to thank my pastor for this opportunity,
Yes,
for
Lord.
taking me in when I first came here. He didn't ask a whole lot of questions. Said, man, I appreciate you for coming. And he took me in and treated me like I was his own, like he had been knowing me for as long as he know anybody else. So I thank him for that. I'd like to thank Sister Hale, choir, Rev.Jamal, all my brothers and sisters in Christ, the deacons. And I want to thank my fiance for driving that 9 hours, her and the kids, to be here to support me. Support goes a long way in ministry. And I want to thank her for that.
Thank you, Lord.
And I just thank God for being who he is. It's been, I'm going to share a little bit with you before I get started, but it's been 3 years since I stood behind the pulpit and proclaimed the gospel. But God has never left my heart. And through all I went through, he constantly showed me, no matter what you go through, I'm never going to leave your side. Because I called you to proclaim my gospel. And because I call you to proclaim my gospel, some things you go through, you're going to go through for what you're doing wrong. And some things you go through, you're going to go through because I'm trying to make you better. But whatever you go through, just don't stop on me, and I won't stop on you. So I thank God for where he brought me from. I shared some of it with Pastor, but I thank God. But I got a little song I'd like to sing before I get started. And the song says, all through the night, all through the day, the Lord keeps sending blessings my way. Last night he blessed me with a place to sleep. Early this morning he awakened me. I sit down at my table, I had food to eat. I said, Lord, let me thank you for being good to me. You do it all through the night, all through the day. The Lord keeps sending blessings my way. When my food get low, he bless me with more. When my bills are due, he pulled me through. He's always there when I need him most. And I never seen a day when he did not make a way. 'Cause he do it all through the night, all through the day. The Lord keeps sending blessings my way. Blessing my way. Blessing my way. Yeah. The Lord keeps sending blessings my way. When I was down, he picked me up. And he helped me to drink from a bitter cup. He's always there when I need him most. And I never seen a day when he did not make a way. He do it all through the night, all through the day. The Lord keeps sending blessings my way. You may be seated. If you have your Bible this morning, turn with me to Isaiah chapter 43.
Look out, son.
When you get there, just say amen. Isaiah 43. And we're going to use the first and second verse. When you get there, just say amen.
Amen.
Isaiah 43rd chapter, verse 1 reads, But now thus saith the Lord, that created thee, O Jacob, and he formed thee, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. Verse 2 says, And when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. And when thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned. Neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. I'm going to read it for you one more time.
Yeah.
He said, but now thus said the Lord, that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. I knew who you were when I called you. Thou art mine. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. And when thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. I'd like to use for a subject this morning, the Lord will be there for his people.
Amen.
There's a song that the Chicago Mass Choir sings, and it's called Jesus Promise. And the words say, I can call him in the morning, I can call him late at night, but anytime I call him, he'll make everything all right. It does not matter how big the problem may be. Why? Because Jesus promised he'll take care of me. So what I'm trying to tell you this morning is God has made a promise that he will be there for us in the midst of coronavirus, in the midst of bills being due and you don't have a job. God has promised he will be there for us. Well, let me give you a few examples that God said he'll be there for us. When he called Moses and told Moses to go tell Pharaoh to let my people go, and Moses said, Lord, who am I to tell Pharaoh to let your people go? God said, just go and tell him, and certainly I will be with thee. When the flood was about to come, and God had prepared Noah, told Noah, prepare an ark and get ready for this flood, but don't worry about the flood, because I'm going to take you and put you in the ark. And not only am I going to put you in the ark, I'm going to shut you in, but I made a window in the ark so you can see what I'm bringing you out of. Sometimes God will put you in a place to keep you, but then he'll allow you to see what it is that you're coming out of. He said the Lord will be there for his people. God is not slack concerning his people. It may not happen when you want it to happen. It may not come when you want it to come. But you just keep trusting and praising your God. And sooner or later, the Lord is going to show up, because he has not forgot about you. And he can't forget about you, because he made you and you are part of his workmanship. And he will not forget those that he has made. Verse 1 says, but now thus said the Lord. And when I look at the first sentence, it says, but now. I understand through schooling you can't start a sentence with but. Because but is a transition word, meaning something is about to change. I can't start a sentence with but. But he said, but now thus said the Lord. So I said, Lord, what happened to get to the point of but? He said the children of Israel have been going through much because of their wrongdoing, because of their disobedience, because of them not going to listen to me. And it seems like the more I turned the heat up, the worse they got. They didn't pay me no attention. It's just like us sometime today. The more God puts on you, we don't see that it's God putting it on us. We think I'm just going through and don't know why I'm going through. And it's a bad thing to be going through when you don't know why you're going through, but all the time God has told you, I'll be there with you. It's good to know that God will be there with you, because it's some stuff that you've been in that should have took you out. It's some stuff that you did that should have took you out. You wasn't always saved. You didn't always come and sing holy songs. You didn't always smell like you smell. You didn't always look like you look. But because God took you, washed you in his precious blood, and made you what you are today, you ought to know that don't matter what I go through, the Lord will be there for his people.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
He said, but now, thus said the Lord that created thee. He said, I created thee. The Bible says God took dust from the ground and formed man, and he breathed breath into his nostrils and gave him life. That's creation. He said, and then he said, and God formed thee. He formed thee. He brought it all together. That word form means to bring parts together. He says, so Israel, I'm letting you know, sometimes God has to remind us of what he is and who he is. And when you know that God is your God, you know that I'm a royal priesthood. You know that I'm a joint heir with the Lord. You know that I'm a peculiar people. And when you know that you're a peculiar people, you got to know you didn't get there by yourself. But if it had not been for the Lord who was on our side, when men rose up against us, they would have swallowed us up. I'm trying to tell somebody this morning, the Lord will be there for his people.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
After he gets their attention here in verse 1, he says, After he gets their attention, he says, fear not. See, he had to remind them that he created them. He had to remind them that he formed them. And sometimes when God tells you, look, baby, you're my child.
All right.
You didn't choose me, I chose you. So that makes you special.
That's
You didn't choose me, I chose you. That makes you special to me.
Yes.
You know, I remember where you was and where you come from. I knew you in your mother's womb even before you got here. In other words, God foreknew you. He knew what you was going to go through. He knew what you still got to go through. He knew why you're going through it. And he knew what you're going through it for. All the time going through trials and tribulations is not bad, but it's to make you a better servant, that your faith may become better in the Lord.
That's it.
God will try your faith to get you to the fulfillment of your purpose. I heard it like this. Faith that can't be tested is faith that can't be trusted.
That's right. That's right. Amen.
The more God puts on you, he's putting it on you because he trusts you. It's not because you've been so good. It's not because you've been so kind. And it ain't because you've been so bad. But it's because he trusts you to go through what he's going through, because you've already been through certain things that you didn't think you would get out of. But because of your faith in the Lord and him being with you, you made it out.
Thank you, Lord.
He says, fear not,
Thank
for I have redeemed thee. In other words, he's speaking of, in this text, he's speaking of redemption to come, which is us. But right here, he's speaking of what he brought them out of. These people were down in the slums of Egypt making bricks without straw. The straw in a brick is to hold it together. So can you imagine how hard it had to be for God's people to be oppressed, trying to make a brick with all the time knowing this brick ain't gonna stand no way. You ever tried to build something but didn't have all you needed to build, and the more you put on it, the more it fall down? You ever had some bad help? The more nails you put in the wood, you walking, putting them in, and they walking behind you, pulling them out. That's kind of how it is when you ain't got the Lord on your side.
Come on, Sampson.
He said, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I paid a price for you. If you don't believe he redeemed the children of Israel, when they were at the Red Sea and needed a way out, let me show you how good God is and how he'll be there for his people. When they were at the Red Sea, they began to get discombobulated, kind of like us today with this coronavirus. Lord, I don't want to go out the house. Lord, I don't want to do this. God said, that's not something I'll put here to destroy you, but if you just make it with me and stay with me, I'll put it here to make you better. But when they were at the Red Sea, they had mountains on one side, they had mountains on the other side, they had the Red Sea in front of them, and then there was Pharaoh and his army behind them. But watch what God did. God said, I'll be with you because you're my workmanship. The Bible says it is he that had made us and not we ourselves. We're the sheep of his pasture. So because I'm the sheep of his pasture, there's always a way of escape. Why? Because he'll take care of his sheep. He did not bring you this far to leave you. It cost him too much at Calvary to leave you right now. He didn't bring you this far to live. He did not sacrifice his only begotten son so far back then to leave you right now. But you got to quit being so concerned with what you're going through and tell what you're going through that my God is bigger than what I'm going through. You need to be scared of my God, but I'm not scared of what you're doing to me. He said, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I called thee by name. It feels good when you've been going through something and it looks like it's no end. And you hear the Lord come to you and remind you of who you are. He comes and says, you're my child. I gave my only begotten son that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. I promise you that I'll be with you to the ends of time. I'll never leave you nor forsake you. Then he says, I'm the Lord. I change is not. That's something that ought to give you hope on the inside, that no matter what I go through, no matter where I am, but the Lord will always be there for his people. He said, thou art mine. He puts ownership on it. Y'all are my people. I don't know about the rest of them, but I'd rather be the Lord's people than to be anybody's people. Because with the Lord, there's benefits. There's a hedge of protection that's all around me. There's a covering that's on me. There's something that lives down within me that tells me, don't go left, but go right. Because today on the left side, there's something over there that's going to take you out. There's something that tells me, don't look back, but look forward. What's behind you is helping you get where you're going. God, I'm not worried about what comes my way, what I've been through, because if it was meant to take me out, it would have took me out. So it lets me know that what I've been through together good to get me where I need to be. The Bible says all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. Not worried about what I'm going through. Not worried about where I come from. Not worried about what folks do to me. Why? Because the more you do to me, God will lift me up. The Bible says he exalts the humble and oppresses the proud. So long as I keep doing what it is that he's called me to do, he'll keep lifting me. Not saying that he's going to take away my trials, but he's going to keep lifting me. And sometimes some trials ain't bad trials. Because if you just listen to him in your trial, he'll tell you how to get out of your trial. Sometimes we stay in our trial longer than God intended for us, and that's why it hurts so bad. If you just listen to God in your trial, he'll tell you how to get out of the trial. When they were at the Red Sea, they were in discombobulated. But he told Moses, he said, tell my people, fear ye not. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. See, what I learned about fear is God will tell you to fear not, because when you're in fear, your mind tends to run. And when your mind is running, you can't hear what the Lord has to say. But he says, fear not to settle you down. When Peter was walking on water and he nearly drowned, he called out to the Lord, said, Lord, save me. And God reached down and grabbed him. When they were on the ship and the storm arose, God didn't do no whole lot. All he said was, peace, be still. God don't have to do a whole lot to get you out of what you're going through, but you got to know him and listen to him.
Thank you, Lord.
First point I want to show you today is,
Thank you.
I told you that the Lord will be there for his people. The first point I want to get to is in verse 2. The first point is the Lord will be there through the waters. And when I looked at this term, waters, you know, water represents a lot of different things in the Bible.
Yes, it does.
In some points, it represents life. In some points, it represents growth. In some points, it represents distress. And here in this text, knowing what the children of Israel had been through, it represented their distress, what they were going through. But the Bible says, he said, when thou passest through the water. In other words, that word when means if you ain't got there yet, you just keep on getting up saying good morning, baby, because you're going to get to some water. And God has promised us that he'll be with us through the water. And the reason I like that he promised me that he'll be with me through the water, because when I look at water, all I can see is the top of the water. But when I can't see beyond what's in the water, and there are things in the water that will cause me more harm than the water itself. When you get to walking through water, there are rocks that you can slip and fall on and hurt yourself. There are snakes, there are fish, there are things in the water that can hinder you. Just like our trials. You don't know when your trials are coming, but all you know is you get to going through, you get to feeling down, you get to feeling woe is me. But guess what? God has sent us a comforter who's with us every day, not some days, but all the time. And whenever I call on him, the songwriter said he'll be there to make everything all right. God will be with you through the waters. Some folk might say, well, Rev, I ain't worried about no water. I can swim. Maybe shallow water is dangerous. It don't matter how good you can swim. It don't matter how big or small your trial is. You ought to be glad that God said, I'll be with you, because sometimes he got to pull you out of water. Sometimes he got to carry you through the water. And then if you just listen and fear not, he'll tell you how to get out of the water. But when you get out the water, just make sure you don't forget to praise him, because it was God that brought you out. And all he wants is his glory for being your God and what he does for you. When thou passest through the water, I'll be with thee. I'll be with thee. I'll never leave you nor forsake you. I know what you did wrong last night. I know what you did wrong last week. This me being with you has nothing to do with what you do. See, the love of Jesus has nothing to do with me. It has all to do with him caring about a people, a sin-sick people, not going to see us die in our own midst. So in other words, I can't, that's why Paul said, the love of Jesus, nothing can separate me from the love of Jesus. Why? Because God gave it. It's not something I went and asked for, but he gave it because he loved me. In other words, it's an extension that's always there for you to get. He said, when thou passest through the water, I will be with thee. Then he moves on and said, bring me to my second point. He said, and through the rivers, they will not overflow thee. I said, oh, Lord. So what I started to see here, I said, Lord, you use waters first. That's a trial, but it's not as bad as a river. I said, then you use rivers second. And when I look at a river, Many of us, when we look at river, we see body water. We see flowing water. And we think, if I can make it cross to the other side, I'll be all right. But we never count the cost of what's really going on beneath the surface. There are currents beneath the surface.
Yeah.
And then the currents have caused what we call in the country sinkholes. And then there are sinkholes to where it causes the current to do a rapid shift and creates what we call whirlpools in the country. And I'm mindful that God can look beyond the surface of the river where man can only see the top of the water and not what's going on. God can look beyond the surface and see what's really going on, and he has made provisions for you. If you don't believe he's made provisions for you, well, let me help you today. The Bible says when you're tired, he said, come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That's provision for when you're tired. When you weigh down with your cares of the world, he said, cast all your cares on me, for I care for you. That's provision for when you worry. He said, when you're hungry, I'm the bread of life. He said, when you're thirsty, I'll give you water. I am water. God has made provision for you. But when I look at the river, I see currents. And sometimes currents will try to push you places you don't want to be. Kind of like your trial. You've been doing mighty good the last few weeks, but here along comes the trial that pushes you up against the wall, and you don't know which way to go. It tries to push you, and then while the current pushing you down the stream, here comes a sinkhole trying to pull you down where you really don't want to be, trying to pull you back down where the Lord has delivered you from. Just like our past always wants to come back and grab us because he feels like it's something you left there. But everything I left in my past, God moved me from it. It wasn't for me. If I can leave it, it ain't for me. Because what God has for me is going to go with me. And everything I left in 2019, in 2018, it was meant for me to leave there. He had to take some garbage out of me to put some new stuff in me. You can't get to the next level with the same stuff. Sometimes God has to unload you to reload you. He says the currents try to push you where you don't want to be. And then he said the sinkhole tries to, what a sinkhole does is where the earth can collapse under the water, and it tries to pull you down. There are some things that you're going through that have tried to really pull you down. And to be honest with you, there's some folks that you're attached to that have tried to pull you down. And not only have they tried, they still trying, and you don't see it because God is my keeper. I'm going to help him, and God is steady trying to get you away from it because God knows they pulling you down, and God, you steady going on. But he said there's some sinkholes that try to pull you down. And then he said there are whirlpools that come. When a whirlpool comes, it starts to spin. There are some trials and some tribulations that have came in your life that have tried to spin all the good out of you, that have tried to spin the life out of you. And what I learned about a river is when the currents are pushing, it does not cover up the sinkhole. When I'm in the sinkhole, it does not stop the whirlpool from turning. But thank God we have somebody that said, I'll be with my people no matter where they are. And he promised and said, the water shall not overflow them. Come on, sinkhole, come on, current, come on, whirlpool. It don't matter. Creation can't trump the person that made it. He said, when thou passing through the river, I'll be with thee. When thou, in other words, if you ain't been to a river yet, just keep on getting up, saying good morning, and your river crossing day is coming. See, what I learned is you got to go through somewhere to get where you're going. If you don't go through nothing, you can't get where you're going. A little boy, he's a little boy, and he would hop off the school bus every day in front of the graveyard and shoot down through the graveyard to get to his house. And he did that for about 7 days until finally the bus driver said, look, man, I can drop you off in front of your house, but every day you jump off this bus and run through that graveyard. He said, why is it that you rather get off at the graveyard, a scary, spooky graveyard, when I can drop you off at your front door? The little boy said, it's because I got to go through the graveyard to get where I'm going, and I'm trying to get to heaven. What I'm trying to tell you this morning is the Lord will be with his people, but you got to go through something to get where you're really trying to be. In other words, you got to go through earth to get to heaven. This is temporary. That's eternal. What are you willing to go through to get what it is that God has for you? Everything that come ain't to break you down. It may hurt for a little while, but he said, weeping may endure for a night. But joy cometh in the morning. It won't last always. There's a time and a season for everything. He said there's a time for growth and a time for death. That's what the Bible says. There's a time for everything. But this brings me to my last point. It says, and when thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. When thou, God already know. When thou, baby, I ain't been through no fire, baby, you going. But just know you gonna be okay. When thou not run, but when thou walkest through the fire, that lets me know that God's protection is like no other. When thou walkest through the fire, many times when we see fire, because it's so intensified, because it's so hot, the first thing come to mind is run. Man, run. Man, there's a fire over there. You better run. But God said, when you got me on your side, you don't have to run. I want you to walk through the fire, because there's some things in the fire I want you to see that I can show you how to get around it next time. There's some things in the fire that I want you to endure so you can tell somebody else how to get out of it when they go through the fire. On my job, I have to wear FRCs in the natural. In the natural, I have to wear what they call FRCs, fire retardant clothing. But I was talking to the Lord the other night, and as I was studying this thing, God said, yeah, in the natural, you got to wear FRCs. But he said, son, this walk that we own is against spiritual principalities and wickedness. It's not against flesh and blood. He said, so I got something that's better than FRC. I said, Lord, what is it that you got? He said, every morning when you get up and you say your prayers and you talk to me in scripture, he said, I'll put on you GRFC. I said, Lord, what is GRFC? He said, that's God's fire retarded clothing. And, I mean, not clothing, but covering. That's God's fire retarded covering. And what he said is, I'll cover you each and every day. So when you have to walk through the fire, you shall not be burnt. That's the reason folks know you've been through the fire, but you don't smell like smoke, is because God was there. If you don't believe that God would be with you through the fire, come here, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The Bible said when they put them in the furnace, the people that put them in there fell dead because of because of how hot it was. But they went in, and the Bible said the next day when he came back, he saw 4 men. It's the reason I'm so glad that the Lord has promised he'll be with me through the fire. I don't have to run when I go through the fire. I can walk through the fire. Why? Because the love of Jesus is with me. The Holy Spirit is within me. Fire is not always bad. When a goldsmith gets a new thing of gold that has come from the ground, he takes the gold and he puts it in his pot. And he heats it up. And he heats it up, and then he goes and looks at it. And when he sees impurities, he heats it up a little hot. And then he goes back and looks at it. And when he still sees impurities, he heats it up, and he keeps heating it up until he sees no impurities. Well, that's kind of how God is with us and some of our trials. I got to put you through one thing to bring you back that you look more like me. And then when you start messing up again, I'm going to put you through a little more so it'll get a little hotter and you look more like me. And I'm just going to keep purifying you and purging you until you get to the place where I want you to be. And then when you get to the place I really want you to be, I can use you for my glory. He said, thou will be there for his people. The fire shall not kindle upon you. Do you know how good it is to know that I can walk through intensified trials? Trials that really have tried to burn me up, consume me, take me out. See, that's what a fire does. A fire tries to destroy and consume. And many in the Bible have been put in situations where things have tried to destroy them and consume them. Daniel, when they put him in the lion den, that was meant to consume and destroy. That was a trial like no other. But what did God do? God put him in the lion den and then gave him a good night's sleep on the line. That's what it means when you got the Lord with you. You don't have to worry about your trials, but your trials ought to be worried about how big your God is, because God can do all things. He can do anything but fail, and he's not the son. He shall not lie. He shall not lie. His promises are yea and amen. If he said I'm going to be there, you can count on him to be there. He might not come when you want it, but whenever he get there, he's still on time. The Lord will be there for his people. And I'm going to wait till my seat when I tell you this. There was a friend of mine come to me one day. He said, Rev, I know the Lord, but I can't see him all the time. I said, man, I'm going to tell you a story. He said, what you got, Rev? I said, man, I was a little boy one spring evening, flying a kite. And as he was flying the kite, a low-hanging cloud came over his kite and covered it up. And the little boy steady couldn't see the kite, but he just kept working his hand as if he was flying his kite. And one of his little buddies walked up and said, man, how do you know your kite is still there? The little boy said, and you can't see it. He said, how do you know your kite is still in the air, but you can't see it? The little boy said, I can't see my kite, but every now and then I feel a tug on my string that lets me know that the Lord is still there. Sometimes you can't see God working in your favor, but just stay in tune with the Lord. And every now and then you'll feel a tug on the altars of your heart. God did not bring us this far to allow some type of coronavirus to trump who he is. God did not bring you this far to leave you. It was some 2,000 years ago when they hung my Lord on a rugged cross, when they buried him in a new tomb. But the Bible says he stayed there all day Friday. He stayed there all day Saturday. But early Sunday morning, he got up with all power, heaven, hell, and earth in his hand, because he knew I was going to need a Savior. He knew I was going to need a friend in time of loneliness. He knew that little old bad me was going to need somebody to be with me through my waters. He knew little old bad me was going to need somebody to be with me through my rivers. He knew little old bad me was going to need somebody to be there with me through my fire. And I'm so glad today that all I've been through didn't take me out. Why? Because the Lord will be there for his people. The Lord will be there through the water. The Lord will be there through the rivers. And the Lord will be there through the fire. He'll be there through the deep water. He'll be there through the turbulent water. And he'll be there when your trials are intensified. No matter what comes your way, you can always count on God to be there for his people. He's there for his people that he won't contradict himself. He's there for his people to show others that you may mock my people, but I'm going to be there for mine. Every now and then I can call on family members and they can't answer for me. Every now and then I can call on some of my church friends and they can't be there for me because they're obligated to other things. But I don't care when I fall down on my knees and call on my Savior. He will come and see about his child. I don't care if he stays for a long time. I don't care if he comes for just a short while. All I care about is that he comes. God will be there for his people.